Ava, the Addition Operator's Adventures in Mathland by Dan Schaefer. Illustrated by Dieter Putri. Ava was walking down the road. It was a nice sunny day and she enjoyed going for walks. On her way, she saw two numbers. "Hello there," Ava said. "Hello," the first number said. "My name is 5. I count things." "And I am 3. I also count things," the other number said. "You look different though. What do you count?" "Oh, I don't count things because I'm not a number," Ava said. "I'm an operator. I do operator things." 3 and 5 looked puzzled. "Well, we've never heard of an operator before." "Well, I can add things," Ava said. I've never heard of adding before," 5 remarked. "Yeah, what is adding?" "Is it something you can eat?" 3 asked. "That's a terrific idea, 3. Maybe adding is like eating strawberries," 5 said excitedly. "Ooh, I love strawberries. Please add us some strawberries," 3 and 5 begged. "I'm afraid that's not what adding is," said Ava. 3 and 5 were visibly disappointed. Well that's a shame. I really love strawberries," 5 said. "Me too," said 3. "If adding isn't to do with strawberries, then what is it good for?" "That's a very good question. Well, it is to do with counting." "Well, we are numbers, and numbers can count strawberries, so if adding is also to do with strawberries, I want to know more," 3 said eagerly. "How about I'll show you," Ava said. "Oh yes, please." Ava went up to 3 and 5 and gave them both a big hug. There's a brief flash of light. "Oh, well, this is all very odd," remarked 3. "Yeah, it does feel quite strange. I somehow feel part of something bigger, I guess." "Me too," said 3. "I can't quite put my finger on it, though." "That's because I added you," said Ava, who was squeezed up tightly to 3 and 5. You're going a little too fast for me there," said 3. "Well, it's all quite simple, really," Ava said. "If you're both numbers and count things, then what is 3 plus 5? Is it a strawberry?" 3 asked keenly. "No, silly," remarked 5. "But if you can have 3 strawberries in a basket, and you put some more in, you get 5 strawberries. So if you put 3 strawberries and another 5 strawberries in a basket, you get..." 3 looked over at 5, full of anticipation. "Well, I don't know, 3. I've never counted that far before," replied 5. "It's 8, Ava said. 3 plus 5 equals 8. "Okay, so now we have 8 strawberries," 3 said excitedly. "If we are counting strawberries, then yes," Ava replied. "That's great," said 3. "I think I like adding." "That's all very well and good," said 5 thoughtfully. "But what if you want to count to 3 or to 5? How do we break up 8 again?" That's an excellent question," Ava said. "It looks like we need subtraction to do that." "What's subtraction?" asked 5. "Well, if I can add 3 and 5 together to give 8, surely there should be an operation to go back. Just like addition adds things up, subtraction takes things away." Just then, Suvi the subtraction operator walked past. "Hi Suvi," called Ava. "It looks like we need your help. We're all added up over here, and we'd like to break up 8 into 5 and 3 again." "No problem," said Suvi. She walked over to 3, 5 and Ava, who were all cuddled up to make 8. She gave them all a great big hug, and after a flash of light they were all lying on the floor. "Thanks," 3 said. "How did you do that?" "I am Suvi, the subtraction operator, and I cancel out what Ava, the addition operator, does." "That sounds quite mean though," shouted 5. "It's okay, 5, Ava said. "It's not as if we don't like each other. In fact, we get along brilliantly. We just do different things. You might say that we complement each other." Suvi smiled. "Oh, thank you. You always make me blush." "If 3 plus 5 equals 8, then you also want to be able to go the other way. That's what Suvi does," Ava explained. "Exactly," said Suvi. "So if I have 8 and I take away 3, I'm left with 5. 8 minus 3 equals 5. "That sounds very interesting," mumbled 5. "I think I'll have to get my head around that though." As they were talking, 2 other operators were walking down the road. "Hi guys," said Ava. "These are my new friends." "Nice to meet you," the first new operator said enthusiastically. I am Matt, the multiplication operator. I multiply things. That's what I do. Just give me something to multiply and I'll show you. Oh, stop trying to show off, the other new operator said. I'm Dakota, the division operator. Unsurprisingly, I divide stuff, pretty much the opposite of what Matt does. But multiplication is just so amazing. I mean, who doesn't love to multiply stuff? It's like the best operation ever. Does it have anything to do with strawberries? 3 asked hungrily. Oh, absolutely. Multiplication is fantastic for helping us to count things. Now, that's what I'm talking about. 3 declared, full of energy. Tell me more. Oh, here we go again, Dakota sighed. You're just jealous, smiled Matt. Isn't Matt the normal nickname for Matthew? Wondered 5 aloud. Guess it is, said Matt, but a nickname is supposed to be shorter than your full name, right? So Matt is an incomplete nickname. If you're going to abbreviate, then you should abbreviate properly. Ava, Suvi, Matt, Dakota, 5 and 3 continued walking along the path whilst Dakota and Matt continued to argue over how to spell Matt properly. As they turned a corner, they saw someone else ahead. 50 meters ahead of them, a tall thing was bobbing up and down. Hello there, Ava proclaimed. Sorry, can't talk. I've got to point this way, the thing said quickly. I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Ava said, slightly confused. Wait, aren't you an operator too? Dakota asked. Oh no, I'm not an operator, I'm a vector, he said, full of excitement. Dakota looked rather puzzled. I've never heard of a vector before. Do you double things? Suvi asked. No, that's my job, exclaimed Matt, huffing out his chest. Do you high-five everyone? Asked Ava. Ooh, I know, Suvi proclaimed excitedly. I know what you do. The others looked on expectantly. Tell us, they shouted. Suvi huffed up her chest, stood up straight, and said proudly, I know what you do. She waited for a few seconds to build up some tension. Well, go on then. Tell us, Suvi, Matt said. Suvi was very proud of herself. You make jam, don't you? She said. Jam? Viktor asked. How on earth did you get to jam? Well, replied Dakota. Numbers can count strawberries, and we operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division all work together with numbers to make larger or smaller numbers. You look like you do other things with numbers, and strawberries sometimes go on to make jam, so I thought that... Dakota trailed off, lost in her thoughts. Not quite, Viktor said. I point to places. I mean, that's what I do, Viktor said as he bobbed up and down eagerly. I see, Ava said. Where do you point to then? That way, Viktor said, whilst pointing down the road. That way and 5 kilometers. But what will we find if we go there? Matt asked. Well, I don't really know. I've never been there, you see. I just point to places. Well, we are going this way anyway. Let's go and see what's over there, Ava said. Would you like to join us? Why, thank you. I would love to, Viktor said, full of enthusiasm. So, off they went. Ava, Suvi, Matt, Dakota, Viktor, 5 and 3 walked along the road. When they arrived, they saw a large square fellow standing proudly in the middle of the road. Hi there, Ava said. I am Ava. I add things. I am Suvi. I subtract things, said Suvi. I am Matt. I multiply things, added Matt. I am Dakota. I divide things, explained Dakota. I am Viktor. I am a vector and I point to places, added Viktor. And we are numbers. We count things, 3 and 5 proclaimed. That's all very well and good, but I'm very busy, you see, so I can't waste much time talking to folks like you, the square fellow said arrogantly. Well, that's not a very nice thing to say, Ava huffed. I don't care what you think, he replied, whilst looking down at Ava. I am a much higher order of tensor. That's why I don't have to waste my time talking to lower ranked tensors and scalars like you. Well, I think that all operators are equally as important, Ava said confidently, secretly wondering what a tensor was. And let's not forget about our new friends the numbers too. They are very important as well. Without them, we couldn't count things. Imagine how difficult life would be then. Ha! I don't care about silly little things like numbers. They are far too easy and, he lingered before almost spitting out the words, trivial for the likes of me. So, if you're oh so important, what do you actually do? Dakota asked. What a silly question, the horrible new tensor said whilst tapping Dakota condescendingly on the head. I'm Mr. Montague, you see. I am a matrix, one of the most important kinds of algebraic objects. He was pacing backwards and forwards now, noticeably enjoying having people who would listen to him. I represent all sorts of fancy transformations, the likes of which you haven't even heard of before, Mr. Montague said. Well, like what then, Mr. Montague? Matt asked. Gah, it's pronounced Montague. But then I wouldn't expect such a simple folk like you to understand. Anyway, matrices like me can do a lot of things. How about I show you? He walked over to Viktor the Vector and grabbed him. There's a brief flash of light. Viktor was all confused, his head spinning. Oh no, I'm pointing all the wrong way now, exclaimed Viktor. This feels weird. I don't think I like this at all. You're really nasty and mean, Ava shouted. Haha, I told you I was powerful, said Mr. Montague, as Viktor shuffled around helplessly, sucked to Mr. Montague's side. What have you done to Viktor? Asked Ava. Oh, don't worry, I just rotated him, replied Mr. Montague. He didn't ask for any of this, exclaimed Ava. Don't worry, you haven't seen anything yet. There's another flash of light. Viktor was now lying on the floor, covered in dust, and started to cough. Are you alright? Ava asked, concerned. I'm fine, I think. Feel like I'm back to normal though, replied Viktor. What did you do? Ava shouted at Mr. Montague. Oh, I just turned him back to how he was before, he replied. Well, I guess that's the nicest thing you've done so far, Mr. Montague, Dakota said. Well, I wasn't trying to be nice, Mr. Montague said with irritation. I was just getting ready to show you what I can really do. As Mr. Montague said this, an evil grin was spreading across his face. He marched towards Viktor, who was still lying on the floor. Get ready to be stretched, rotated, and terrified all at the same time. Mr. Montague laughed as he walked towards Viktor menacingly. No, don't do that, Dakota screamed. Haha, well, you can't stop me, shouted Mr. Montague. He went over to reach for Viktor and 5 when a loud voice booming from across the path made him pause. Stop right there, Money. The newcomer was a matrix just like Mr. Montague, but looked very different. He stood up defiantly to Mr. Montague and wore large dark sunglasses. Nobody calls me Monty, especially not you, Mike, Mr. Montague exclaimed in outrage. Who's Mike? Ava asked. Mike is my inverse, Mr. Montague answered, looking very unhappy. What's an inverse? Said Matt. The new matrix stepped closer. I'm the opposite of Money here in every way. He rotates things left, I rotate him right, the matrix explained. Mr. Montague looked at him angrily but said nothing. And that's the last time you pick on someone smaller than you, Mike said. I'll teach you not to mess around with other people's business, said Mr. Montague, stepping closer to Mike. The two matrices raised their fists and started circling one another. Just as they were about to fight, a dot product flew past and there was another flash of light. Ava had to shield her eyes. When she looked up, Mr. Montague and Mike had disappeared. In their place was a new matrix. Where are Mr. Montague and Mike? Asked Ava. They were a part of me, said the new matrix calmly. I am Isaac, and I am an identity matrix. Mr. Montague and Mike were opposite in every way. When they combined, I was created. But what does an identity matrix do? Asked Dakota. Just like the other matrices, I represent a transformation. Some matrices represent rotations, or flippings, or reflections, but my transformation is very gentle, the new matrix spoke softly. So what transformations do you represent? Asked Dakota. Nothing, absolutely nothing, said the identity matrix. Ava felt very confused. Don't worry, it's not that difficult. Sometimes you need a matrix to represent that nothing has changed. When another matrix or a vector and I merge with a dot product, everything should just stay the way it is. No rotations, No flippings. Everyone just chills out for a bit, explained Isaac. I see, and what happened to Mr. Montague and Mike? Wondered Ava. Oh, don't worry about them. They were two split halves of the same personality. Maybe sometime in the future I'll decide to split up again into another pair of matrices that are opposite in every way. Who knows? After that last one, I think I need a little break, said Isaac. I definitely agree, said Viktor energetically. Well then, how about we all go and grab ourselves some fresh strawberries from the fields, suggested Isaac, the identity matrix. We love strawberries, shouted 3 and 5 together. The newfound friends all walked down the road together in search of new adventures.